All right, so get this. What if I told you we might be on the verge of, like, unlocking a secret to getting the same workout results with way less effort?
Hmm.
It sounds like one of those too good to be true infomercials, but today we're diving into some research that suggests it might actually be possible.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating stuff. We're talking about electromyostimulation, or EMS, and its potential impact on strength training. But here's the kicker.
Okay?
We're not just talking about, like, hardcore gym rats.
Right?
This research is focused on low-intensity exercise,
Okay.
the kind you might do if you're just starting out or, like, recovering from an injury.
Okay, so walk me through this. What exactly is EMS, and how could it help someone who isn't exactly bench pressing their own weight?
Well, think of EMS as, like, giving your muscles a little extra nudge.
Okay?
It uses electrical impulses to stimulate muscle contractions, essentially mimicking the signal your brain sends during a workout.
So it's like giving your muscles a personal trainer that speaks their language.
That's a great analogy. And the research we're looking at today, which comes from a study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, a pretty big deal in the fitness world, suggests that EMS could be a game changer for boosting the effectiveness of lighter workouts.
Now, I'm intrigued. The source material for this deep dive comes from Orium's Fit, and they do a great job breaking down this complex study in their blog post. They even provide links to the original research, which I always appreciated. Tell me, what did the researchers actually find?
Well, they looked at the effects of low-intensity exercise combined with something called blood flow restriction, or BFR.
BFR? Okay.
Sounds intense, but it's basically using specialized cuffs to gently restrict blood flow to the working muscles. And what they discovered is that adding EMS to the mix really supercharges the benefits, especially when it comes to releasing growth hormone.
Hold on, growth hormone, isn't that the stuff that helps us build muscle?
Exactly. It plays a crucial role in muscle growth and recovery. And get this, the study found that combining EMS with BFR led to a whopping 290-fold increase in plasma growth hormone in some participants.
290 times.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is officially blown.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, how does restricting blood flow actually help? Doesn't that sound kind of counterintuitive?
It might seem that way, but think about it this way. When you lift heavy weights, your muscles have to work extra hard, right?
Right.
This creates a buildup of certain substances, like lactate, which signals your body to adapt and grow stronger.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection here.
Right. Well, BFR essentially tricks your body into thinking it's working harder than it actually is, even during those lighter workouts. It's like creating a shortcut to those muscle-building signals.
So you're saying that combining EMS, which directly stimulates those muscle contractions, with BFR, which sends those work harder signals, could potentially lead to similar muscle growth and recovery benefits as a much more intense session.
That's exactly what this research is suggesting, and it has some pretty exciting implications, especially for those who might not be able to or want to hit the gym hard every day.
So we're talking about potentially getting like the same results from a lighter workout with EMS and BFR as you might from a much more intense session.
Right. That's huge.
Especially for people who can't or prefer not to go all out at the gym?
Exactly. This research really challenges the whole no pain, no gain mentality. It's suggesting that there might be a smarter, more efficient way to achieve our fitness goals.
It's like we're hacking the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using technology to help our bodies work smarter, not just harder.
Yeah.
But let's talk about lactate for a second. You mentioned it earlier as like a signal for muscle growth.
Yeah.
But isn't that also the stuff that makes our muscles feel sore?
That's right. Lactate does play a role in muscle soreness.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that soreness isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
It's actually a sign that your muscles are adapting and getting stronger.
Okay, so a little soreness is good, but how exactly does lactate contribute to muscle growth?
Well, when we exercise, our muscles produce lactate as a byproduct of energy production. This lactate can then be used as fuel by other muscles or even converted back into glucose by the liver. But here's the key. Lactate also acts as a signaling molecule, triggering a cascade of events that lead to muscle growth and repair.
So it's like lactate is telling our bodies, hey, we worked hard time to rebuild and get stronger.
Exactly. And EMS seems to enhance the signaling process by promoting lactate retention in the muscles. So it's not just about the muscle contractions, it's also about optimizing those chemical signals that drive muscle growth.
This is all starting to make sense, but I have to admit, when I first heard about BFR, I was a little skeptical. Restricting blood flow just sounds intense.
I understand the hesitation. The name can be a bit misleading.
Yeah.
It's not about like completely cutting off circulation. Think of it more like applying gentle pressure with those specialized cuffs, and the science behind it is fascinating. By restricting blood flow, you're creating an environment in the muscles that mimics what happens during high-intensity exercise, even though you're working at a lower intensity.
So we're back to that hacking the system idea. We're basically tricking our bodies into thinking they're lifting those heavy weights, even if we're just doing some light exercises with those cuffs on.
Precisely, and because we're working at a lower intensity, we're putting less stress on our joints and connective tissues. It's a safer way to get some of those intense training benefits.
This is where I get really excited because I know a lot of people who struggle with high-impact workouts, whether it's due to injuries, age, or just personal preference.
Yeah.
This could be a game changer for them.
Absolutely. And remember, we're talking about combining BFR with EMS, which further amplifies these effects. So
Right.
you've got EMS directly stimulating the muscles and BFR creating this metabolic environment that mimics high-intensity training.
It's like a 1-2 punch for muscle growth.
Uh-huh.
But how practical is all of this for the average person?
That's a great question. First and foremost, I think this research opens up a whole new world of possibilities for people who might have felt limited by traditional exercise methods. It's not about saying everyone should ditch the gym and just strap on some EMS and BFR cuffs.
Right, it's not a magic bullet.
Exactly. It's about expanding our understanding of what's possible and providing more options for people of different fitness levels and abilities.
It's about empowering people to find what works best for them.
Precisely. And I think this research really highlights the importance of staying informed. Thankfully, resources like Orium's Fit make it easier to access and understand these studies. They do a great job of breaking down the science and providing practical takeaways.
Speaking of Orium's Fit, I was checking out their website, and they have this program called Health Research Assist Plus, where members can actually request personalized research assistance that'll help you find the latest studies on topics that interest you.
That's fantastic. It's like having a personal research assistant. It really speaks to their commitment to making scientific knowledge accessible and empowering people to take control of their health and fitness.
Right, it's not just about selling products, it's about providing people with the knowledge and tools they need to make informed decisions.
Now, you mentioned earlier that this research challenges the traditional no pain, no gain mentality. What are your thoughts on how technology like this might change the future of fitness?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is the potential for personalization. Imagine EMS and BFR devices that can analyze your biometrics, track your progress, and adjust the intensity of your workout in real time to optimize your results. It's like having a virtual personal trainer built into the device.
I love that idea. It could make fitness more accessible and effective for everyone, regardless of their experience or fitness level. It could also help to prevent injuries by ensuring that you're not pushing yourself too hard too soon.
And I can also see this technology being integrated into physical therapy and rehabilitation. Imagine using EMS to help someone regain strength and mobility after an injury or surgery.
Absolutely. And for older adults who might be at risk of falls, EMS could be used to improve muscle strength and balance, helping them maintain their independence and quality of life.
It's exciting to think about all the possibilities, but of course, as with any new technology, it's important to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism and to seek guidance from qualified professionals.
I couldn't agree more. These tools are not magic bullets. They work best when combined with a balanced approach to fitness that includes proper nutrition, sleep, and stress management.
Right, it's all about finding that sweet spot where technology enhances our efforts, not replaces them. But speaking of challenging assumptions, I think it's important to acknowledge that there's more to fitness than just the physical benefits.
That's a great point. We often focus on the external, building muscle, losing weight, improving performance.
Right.
But fitness also has a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being.
I think we all know that feeling of accomplishment after a good workout, that sense of empowerment and confidence. It can really boost your mood and self-esteem.
Exactly. And for someone who might be struggling with their fitness journey, feeling discouraged or limited by their physical abilities, a tool like EMS or BFR could be a real game changer.
It could give them the confidence to push themselves further and achieve results they never thought possible.
And that shift in mindset can have ripple effects in other areas of their life. It's about feeling more capable and more control of your body and your health. And that sense of empowerment can extend far beyond the gym.
I love that you brought that up. It's so important to remember that fitness is not just about aesthetics or performance. It's about overall well-being, both physical and mental.
Precisely. And I think technologies like EMS and BFR, when used responsibly and with proper guidance, have the potential to contribute to a more holistic approach to health and fitness.
And that's something we can all get behind. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the idea of these technologies potentially democratizing fitness.
Yes, I think that's a crucial point. For too long, fitness has been seen as something that requires access to expensive gyms, personal trainers, or specialized equipment.
And that creates a barrier to entry for a lot of people.
Exactly. But with technologies like EMS and BFR, you can essentially bring the gym to you don't need a lot of space or equipment, and you can work out at your own pace and on your own schedule.
That's a really powerful point. It could really level the playing field and make fitness more accessible to people of all socioeconomic backgrounds.
And I think that's something worth celebrating. Technology has the power to break down barriers and empower people to take control of their health regardless of their circumstances.
As we were talking about the ethical implications of EMS, it struck me that this technology could be a real disruptor, not just in the world of like professional sports,
Hmm.
but in society as a whole.
It's true. Think about it. If we can achieve similar fitness results with less effort, does that change our perception of hard work and discipline? What does it mean for those who find motivation in pushing their physical limits?
That's a really interesting point. It almost feels like we're wading into like philosophical territory here.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the beauty of exploring these cutting-edge technologies.
Right.
They force us to confront some fundamental questions about ourselves and our values.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the individual level. This technology has the potential to reshape entire industries.
Right.
Think about the fitness industry, for example. If people can get a great workout at home with EMS and BFR, what does that mean for gyms on personal trainers?
That's true. It could lead to some major shifts in the fitness landscape, but it also presents some like exciting opportunities.
Yeah.
Imagine personalized EMS training programs that are tailored to your individual needs and goals, or virtual fitness communities that connect people from all over the world who are using this technology.
Those are great ideas. It's like we're on the cusp of a whole new era of fitness, one that's more accessible, personalized, and maybe even more fun.
Yep.
But speaking of accessibility, I think it's important to acknowledge that not everyone will have equal access to this technology, at least not initially.
You're right. There's a risk that EMS and BFR could become the latest must-have gadgets available only to those who can afford them, and that could exacerbate existing health disparities, creating a divide between those who have access to these tools and those who don't.
That's a valid concern. It's something we need to be mindful of. As this technology becomes more mainstream, we need to ensure that it's not just a luxury for the wealthy, but a tool that can benefit everyone regardless of their socioeconomic background.
Maybe this is where organizations like Orium's Fit can play a vital role. They've already demonstrated a commitment to making scientific knowledge accessible through their blog and research assistance program.
Right.
Perhaps they can also advocate for greater affordability and accessibility of this technology.
I hope so. It's encouraging to see organizations like Orium's Fit taking a proactive approach to science communication and education. They're not just pushing products, they're genuinely trying to empower people with knowledge and resources.
Right? It's refreshing to see a company that prioritizes education and transparency. And speaking of transparency, I think it's important to reiterate that the research we've been discussing today comes from a very credible source.
Absolutely. The study was published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, or JSCR, which is a highly respected peer-reviewed journal. It's been the gold standard in the fitness and sports science world for over 35 years.
So our listeners can be confident that the findings we've discussed are based on solid scientific evidence, and if they're interested in delving deeper into the research, they can find the link to the original study on the Orium's Fit blog.
It's fantastic that they provide that direct link. It allows anyone to verify the information and explore the study in more detail.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the science behind EMS and BFR, discussed the potential benefits and challenges, and even pondered the ethical implications of this technology. It's been a fascinating journey.
I couldn't agree more. It's amazing how a single research study can spark so many thought-provoking conversations.
It just goes to show that science is never static. It's a constantly evolving process of discovery and exploration, and who knows what exciting breakthroughs await us just around the corner.
That's what makes it so thrilling. There's always more to learn, more to discover, and more to question. And that's the beauty of shows like The Deep Dive. We get to dive into these fascinating topics and explore the world of science together.
Well said. So for our listeners, remember, stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop questioning. And if you're looking for a reliable source of information and inspiration, be sure to check out the Orium's Fit blog and website. They're doing some amazing work in the world of fitness and health education.
Absolutely. And on that note, let's wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of science and discovery.
Until then, stay strong, stay curious, and keep exploring.